Oh, you yeah, right.
Hayom ta'amseinu hayom. Amen. Hey, Shana Tova. Yeah. Hayom ta'amseinu.
Access the fire, I do have to walk around in front of the bima, but this way I can still say, go team. Are you still on vocal rest? For the last little bit? Gail being on vocal rest is a real breath of fresh air around here. I just kidding. No, it's funny. We'll take it. All right. Thank you, everyone. Very excited. Nothing, no words. Sing. Yes. Very quick welcome. Then we're going to raise I know, right? That's true. The very best.
All right, guys, we're going to start in about 11 seconds. Right. Well, Shana Tova, everyone. Come on in, plenty of seats, especially near the front. We want to welcome you to Temple Beth Shalom and at the dawn here of 5785, we're going to join together in singing. Well, Shana Tova, everyone. I'd like to begin our service with a brief story. In December of 1914, Thomas Edison's laboratory was virtually destroyed in a fire. Though the cause of the fire was uncertain, it was clear that much of Edison's life's work went up in spectacular flames on that December night. At the height of the fire, Edison's 24-year-old son, Charles, frantically searched for his father among the smoke and debris. He finally found him behind the building, calmly watching the scene, his face glowing with reflection, his white hair blowing in the wind. "My heart ached for him," Charles said. He was 67 years old, no longer a young man, and everything was going up in flames. When he saw me, the only thing he said is, "Charles, where's your mother?" When I told him she was at home, he said, "Bring her here. She will never see anything like this in her entire life." The next morning, Edison gathered his students at the burnt-out lab. He was quiet and looked up at the ruins and said, "There is value, there is great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start again anew." 3 weeks after that fire, Edison managed to deliver his first working phonograph, a project that he had been working on for many years. For so many of us, we have felt the intense heat of the fires around us during this entire last year. That heat of rabid anti-Semitism, the heat of hateful rhetoric, the heat of not feeling safe in our own communities. But like the burning bush, while we are surrounded by the flames, we are not consumed, because here we sit. Perhaps it is our duty as a community to find the value, to find the blessing, to find goodness, to find one another through those flames. Like Thomas Edison, may we see the beauty in what still stands, our unified community, our caring neighbors and friends, our connection to Jews throughout time and event who have felt these same flames. We are not consumed. May we, in our service today and throughout 5785, celebrate that we are still here, that we are still grateful, and that we are still even joyful. We'll continue in that joy and singing of Ma Tovu. You can find that on page 110 in your machzor. Hopefully you grabbed one of those gold books on your way in, page 110.
Elotecha Yisrael.
We continue on page 129. Let's read this together. May it be your will, Adonai our God and God of our ancestors, that we discipline ourselves in Torah and devote ourselves to mitzvot. Help us to keep far from sin, to master temptation, and to avoid falling under its spell. May our darker passions not rule us, nor evil companions lead us astray. Rather, strengthen in us the voice of conscience, prompt us to deeds of goodness, and bend our every impulse to your service. Today and every day, let us be gracious, loving, and compassionate in your eyes and in the eyes of all humanity. Baruch atah Adonai, gomel chasadim tovim, le'amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose love for the people Israel is revealed in acts of goodness. We continue on page 140. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu, Our sovereign God, God of source of our holiness and greatness, may your name be praised forever in this world and beyond. Eternal One, God of our mothers and our fathers, your strength, sanctity, glory, and dominion are deserving of song, praise, poetry, hymn, sacred chant, and blessings of thankfulness for all time and eternity. Baruch atah Adonai melech gadol b'tishbachot, el ha'odaot, Adon ha'niflaot, habocher b'simrei zimra, melech elchei ha'olamim. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of praise, source of the impulse to give thanks, crown of wonders, who desires a world filled with songs and a universe of life. We'll invite you, if you are able, to please rise for the Chatzi Kaddish on page 141.
Each God all, each Kadosh, Amen. Me'alma tivrach Yerudai, v'yamlich malchutei.
You may be seated. We're on page 142. You can read this together in the Hebrew and then in the English. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer ur uvarei hoshech, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, or olam ba'otzar chayim, orot me'ofei amar vayehi. Source of blessing, eternal our God, your power fills the cosmos, shaping light, creating darkness, and making peace and fashioning all things. Infinite light is preserved in life's treasure house. Lights from the darkness, said God, and it was so. We continue on page 146. Ahavara bahav tanu Adonai Eloheinu chemla gedola v'teira hamalta aleinu ba'avur avotenu v'imotenu shebatchu becha v'tilamdem chukem chayim kein techonenu utlamdenu. Love abundant, love unstinting, our God, you have enfolded us in love. Tender compassion beyond all bounds, your precious gift. Let's read together. Our fathers and mothers gave you their trust, and you gave them Torah, laws by which to live. For their sake, teach us as well. Grace us with your guidance. Loving Father, merciful Mother of us all, grant us clear understanding that we may listen, learn, and teach, preserve, practice, and fulfill with love every lesson of your Torah. May learning your Torah light up our eyes. May our hearts embrace your mitzvot. Unite us in love and reverence for you, that we may never feel shamed by our deeds. During World War II, a young Jewish woman named Rivka found herself on a crowded train heading toward a concentration camp. As the train rattled forward, the air inside became stifling. Desperation started filling the hearts of those who were crammed inside. Sitting nearby was an older man, visibly weak and sick. Rivka noticed that he was struggling to breathe, gasping for air, but there was no way to open the small sealed windows. Seeing his suffering, Rivka made a decision that could save his life. She forced her way through the crowd and begged for space near a small crack in the wooden boards of the train. People reluctantly moved aside, and she helped the man to that tiny sliver of air. The old man breathed deeply, as if for the first time, his face showing relief as the fresh air reached him. Though they were both trapped in a terrible situation, Rivka's act of kindness gave that man a brief moment of comfort and hope. The man later survived the horrors of the Holocaust, and when he told his story, he spoke of the miraculous act of kindness from a stranger who helped him breathe when he was close to losing hope. In a moment, we are going to turn to the Shema, a prayer which affirms the oneness of God. Perhaps we can meditate on that power, the power of one. One small act of kindness, one listening ear, one person who cares, one change we can make in our lives, one deed can heal a broken world. Let's join together in singing the Shema on page 150. I'll invite you to rise if you are able. Be seated.
Mi'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha
bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech ushachbecha ukumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Eloheihem ani Adonai Eloheihem
asher hotzeitiechem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'Elohim
ani Adonai Eloheihem. Emet. Continue on page 161 at the bottom of the page. The Israelites walked into the Reed Sea 1 foot at a time. What were they thinking about as the water rose up to their legs, chilling their hearts, advancing towards their open mouths? We continue to walk here now 1 foot at a time on our better days forward. Alone, I cannot reach that far shore without drowning. Somehow I don't go under. The person to my right holds me up. Something I cannot see holds him up. Blessed is the source of help, so often unexpected. I step forward. The sea is vast. In great joy for the community we have, supporting one another, standing by one another, and lifting each other's shoulders, we turn to Michamocha. You can find on page 164 our prayer of thankfulness for God's miracles in our everyday lives.
Mi kamocha be'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei feleh, nora tehilot, osei feleh. Yum bam bam bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bam bye bye bye. Adonai yimloch leolam vayed, leolam 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 vayed. Yum bam bam bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bam bam bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bam bye bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bye bye, yum bam bye bye bye.
One of my favorite poems. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you hang my first painting on the refrigerator, and immediately I wanted to paint another one. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you feed a stray cat, and I learned that it was good to be kind to animals. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you make my favorite cake for me, and I learned that little things can be special in life. When you thought I wasn't looking, I heard you say a prayer, and I knew there is a God that I could always talk to, and I learned to trust God. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you make a meal and take it to a sick friend, and I learned how important it is to care for others. When you thought I wasn't looking, I felt you kiss me goodnight, and I felt loved and safe. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw tears come from your eyes, and I learned that sometimes it's okay to cry. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you cared, and I wanted to be everything I could be. When you thought I wasn't looking, I learned most of life's lessons that I need to know to be a good, kind, productive person when I grow up. When you thought I wasn't looking, I looked at you and wanted to say, thanks for all the things I saw when you thought I wasn't looking. In a few moments, we're going to recite this Amidah prayer, a prayer that begins with the parents, God willing, deposited a lot of mitzvot, a lot of good deeds throughout their lives. And all the way, that happened all the way generations after generation, all the way back to our ancestors. And this section of the service says, thank you for those mitzvot, because I'm making withdrawals on those deposits right now, and God willing, also making deposits for future generations. We say thank you, God, for all of the wonderful things that our parents did for us to make us who we are. This time of year, maybe we are remembering fondly Rosh Hashanah dinners or other family gatherings, the person who we wish were sitting next to us this morning. We acknowledge our parents and we thank them for the beautiful gifts they gave us, even when they thought we weren't looking. We'll invite you to please rise on page 166.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Hilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Hilatecha. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Hilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Hilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Akol, Vezocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Ahava. On page 169, let's read together at the bottom of the page. Remember us, Melech, crown of creation, lover of life, remember us when you fill the cup of life, and for your sake, author of life, make us characters on your page, names that live for your sake between the covers of your book.
Magen Avraham ve'Izrat Sarah.
Amen. You may be seated. As we approach the difficult Unatana Tokef prayer this year, we do so with heavy hearts. The words, "who shall live and who shall die," seem so raw this year and so poignant and so tough. This prayer confronts the fragility of our life and the idea that there is much in this world that is out of our control. We have mourned loved ones in our community. We have witnessed suffering in Israel and across the world. We know, too, that we are not in control and that life is uncertain, and the days ahead can bring both joy and sorrow. And yet we recite this prayer not out of despair, but out of a deep connection to our tradition and our people. Unatana Tokef does not shy away from the reality of death. But at its core, Unatana Tokef reminds us that none of us knows how much time we have on this earth. We can't control that, but God has given us the ability to determine our life's quality. We can make our life a thing of beauty and of value. This prayer reminds us that life is precious because it is fragile, that every moment counts, that love, kindness, and community can help us navigate through this time of darkness. As we say Unatana Tokef this year, let us hold in our hearts those whom we have lost. Let us acknowledge the pain that we feel, but let us also remember that there is sacred power in our prayers, in our deeds, and in our hope. In the face of uncertainty, we affirm life.